All right, we are still waiting for our brother Ambassador BQ Wifo to show up so we can continue the show where we left it. But in the meantime, I'm very happy to see my brother is looking so handsome. Talking about Chief Anthony Negro, look at that. Today is kind of different. It's a special day. He's handsomely dressed today. Look at that with the full regalia right there, you know. Is this a white suit or how should I call it? Man, and you are looking elegant right there.
Thank you.
It's so nice to see you like this. Wow.
Thank you very much.
So that goes to show that we're actually on a special broadcast today. We're technically, our brother is having some issues that he need to quickly take care of. I've invited our brother, Prince Idele-Ero, the chief security expert from Germany. So I guess, I don't know if he has made it home yet from his business. Yeah. So he said he just sent me a text message that he just got back from his job. So, and if you are listening to us, it's about our late president, Mohammadu Buhari, who passed away in the UK, now being interred in his hometown, Daura, in Katsina State, Nigeria. We have decided to make this special broadcast today in his honor as a mark of respect for a man who served pretty well in that nation at different capacity. So whether people, some people might say, why are we giving him all this honor and respect? Of course, no doubt about it, because if you know the personality that we're talking about here, you will understand that he deserves all kind of respect and honor for somebody who rose from his youthful age. He started serving the nation up to his old age, and now he got sick and passed away after a brief illness. Anyway, so before the arrival of our brother, before he come back, I think we can actually continue this broadcast rather than continue to wait. Whenever he comes in, wherever he meets us, he can join us. So, like I said, I was about to start the minute silence that we need to have in his respect. So we're going to start the count of the minute silence now. Let's observe a silence for 1 minute for our late departed president. May the soul of our departed President Mohammadu Buhari rest in peace.
Amen.
Thank you so much. Okay, so the broadcast has now started officially, even though we're still waiting for a couple of people to join us in the studios. But I'm going to just ask my brother here, uh, Chief Honorable Tony Negro, to tell us something he know about our late President Muhammadu Buhari. You don't have to tell a whole lot of history, but just say briefly what you know about him, about this man. You know, his antecedents, his, um, positions that he has held, how, I mean, the capacity he has served that nation, Nigeria. Now that he's gone, the whole nation is in the mourning mood right now as we speak. As a matter of fact, there's a holiday today for everybody, as declared by the federal government, by the president, uh, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. For just to continue the mourning of our departed president. Chief Honorable Tony Negro, can you tell us something you know about the president?
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Ero. Thank you very much. Nigeria or Nigerians are in a state of dilemma at the moment following the passing of our ex-president Mohammadu Buhari, GCFR. He died on the 13th of July 2025. Now, the federal government have declared a holiday in honor of the ex-president. A very big thank you to the current president, our daddy, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That is a very good and due honor for the ex-president of Nigeria, Mohammadu Buhari. Mohammadu Buhari passed away in London, age 82 years and 45 days. That's the period he spent on earth. 82 years, 45 days. President Buhari is originally from Katsina State, and we understand now from the governor, His Excellency Diko Rada, that his body has been returned to Nigeria and he will be buried today in Daura local government area of Katsina State. During his time as president, General Mohammadu Buhari was military head of state in Nigeria from 13th of July, no, from 27th of August 1985 to December 1988. He served Nigeria as a head of state of the military in Nigeria. He is survived by 5 children from his marriage from Safinatu Yusuf. That's the name of his ex-wife. And after he divorced his ex-wife, he was now married to Aisha Buhari. They got married on the 2nd of December, 1989. I think Aisha have 5 children as well for the president. Yes, it's a fact that Mohammadu Buhari served Nigeria both as a military head of state and as a civilian government, civilian president. He served Nigeria diligently during the periods that he was head of state and president of the country. We have other head of states who have also served the country diligently. We have Yakubu Gowon, was president at the age of 31. Yakubu Gowon was the president at the age of 31. Murtala Mohammed was also president at the age of 36 years. Olusegun Obasanjo was president at the age of 38. Then Goodluck Jonathan was also president at the age of 52. Now, I want Nigerians to take their mind back now to where we are as a country today. I repeat, General Yakubu Gowon, he was 31 when he was president of the country, and he did very well. He served the country so well that his name will ever be remembered. Well, with this, our late president, Mohammadu Buhari, Nigerians are with his children, his wife, his family through this difficult time. May Allah grant him eternal rest.
Amen.
Amen. Now, we can see where he is
Good
today.
evening.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So we can see the benefit of serving your country diligently. He will ever remain in the minds of Nigerians. The one Nigerian remember about Muhammadu Buhari are most of the good things he did for our country. And he can ever, we will call him a statesman. Remember. So now that the country is at a standstill, we urge fellow Nigerians to remember him, remember his family in prayers. Not just one day prayer, remember them in prayers. And Nigerians have to also take the responsibility to look after the family he left behind. These are the benefits that surround serving your country diligently. To fellow Nigerians going forward, you can see today what it is to serve your country so well, serve them good, the reward is ever there forever. So I'll give the microphone back to Honorable Idele-Ero to create room for others to
Thank
speak.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chief Tony Negro-Irabor, for that opening statement regarding what you know about our president. And I hope everyone is listening at home. There are a lot of people who don't know so much. Some people just know that he was the president. They don't even know the background. But today, we're going to talk about a lot of it. Our brother is back online talking about Ambassador uh, Matthew Biki Waifu. Forgive me if I don't coordinate the names, but they're the same thing. Ambassador Matthew Biki Waifu. I believe that's the way it is uh, pronounced. Sir, I know you have to take a minute break because of your location. You have now relocated to probably a better position where we can see you clearly and hear you better. Or at the same time, you can also hear us, on the reverse side. So we just had an opening statement by Chief Honorable Tony Negro Erabo about the life of our president. What you know about the life of our president, our late president Mohammadu Buhari. And I know you is somebody that I can always vouch for when it comes to analysis because of your knowledge, in-depth knowledge of our country and the leadership. Uh, Ambassador, sir, I'm going to throw the same question to you to let us know, just give us a brief history of what you know about our late president, uh, General Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. The microphone is over to you, sir, Ambassador.
Okay. Good evening to all Nigerians and to lovers of Nigerians worldwide. Um, Today is the nation is in mourning for the next 7 days because of the passing away of our illustrious president, General Mohammadu Buhari, on Sunday. Well, what I have to say about the late General Mohammadu Buhari, GCFR, is that I happen to have met him in person, and I met him in Jos in 1982 when he was the GOC of the 3rd Marine Commando at Rukuba Barracks in Jos. Then I was an assistant manager with New Nigeria Bank in Jos, and we were liaising with, we all used to go with other bankers to the central bank for what we call clearing house then. And one day I was in Barclays Bank in Jos when the late general came in. That time he was the GOC. He had this bank account in that bank. And sometimes we used to have exchange with other bankers and so on. So that was the first time I saw him. And he was attended to in his savings account. And I was told then that he was somebody who was well disciplined when it comes to keeping his bank accounts and keeping his savings. He used to just come in, draw some amount for his household, household keeping and so on, and then the rest he would leave it in the bank. So, but when I met him in person the first time, I was a little bit shocked because, as those who used to know him would know, as at that time, he was the tiniest, or rather the slimmest army general that I ever saw in my life. That I ever saw in my life. I didn't believe that this man was an army general if he was not wearing his official uniform. He wore his official uniform. That him. But all the same, he was a people's person. Then after that, again, the next time I met him was the same 1982, when his birthday was December 17. And myself too, my birthday is December 17. So after the Barclays Bank encounter, we happened to meet in other places. And on December 17, which is my birthday and was his birthday, I was in Rukuba Barracks for a visit because another army brigadier took me to Rukuba Barracks, and since it was his birthday, they had gone to pay him a visit, and they asked me to tag along. So I tagged along. So to show that our president led a simple life. He led a simple, very simple life. His best meals were akamu and akara. And then his real food was rice and dodo. For those who know the president and knows Nigeria how it is, you know that akamu and akara is the common man's food, and that rice and dodo is what is eaten mostly in the southern part of Nigeria and even in the north. So with those encounter with him as a person, I got to know, that the man had a burning passion for this country. I'm talking in the 80s now. I'm taking it down. Then another time too that I met him was, we flew together from Lagos. And I still remember that day very well. April 26th, we flew to 1983. We flew together from Lagos to Jos. And we were on the same aircraft. And when we came down from the aircraft, he passed the VIP side. The generals came to meet him. He passed the VIP side. And because I was with another army officer who was behind him, he told me to follow them. And I followed them through the VIP side. And later, when we got to the VIP, he shook my hand because the officer introduced me as his friend. That was the last I ever had encounter, and a close encounter with the president, because after that, the coup of 1983, December happened, and he became the head of state. And as the head of state, there was no access to him anymore. So what I'm trying to say, in all these encounters, I saw him in the early 80s as a general with a burning passion for his country and his countrymen, a simple man who had no heirs, a man of integrity, a man that believed in justice and equity as at that time. Then moving ahead, I know that he was once the governor of Northeastern State that now covers 7 states in Nigeria. He was made the governor to Northeastern State. That was during the time of General Obasanjo's first time as head of state, military head of state, from 1976 to 1979. And I equally know that Buhari had a lot of offices in which he proved his integrity as an incorruptible man. Like, for example, there was the Petroleum Fund, which was set up by Abacha, which he was made to be in charge of. There were he was head of state, and the first thing he did as at that time was to fight against corruption. And then he brought discipline. He believed in discipline, that Nigerians should be disciplined wherever they are. So that came to brought about the war against indiscipline. Why? As at that time of his first regime. But people, Nigerians, most of them saw him as being too strict. They saw him as being too, how will I put it?
Rigid.
They found this regime hard on the people. They found this regime hard on the people. And a lot of Nigerians during that time didn't like it. A lot of things that were happening, because he was too strict. Then he was overthrown in 1985 by General Ibrahim Badamosi Babangida, and he was put in detention for good 3 years. He was put in detention. And while in detention, his mother passed away. And when the mother passed away, the military regime of of Babangida refused him to go and bury his mother. And this is where, by the time he came out from prison, Buhari now was a changed man from what he used to be. These are details that, he was a changed man from what he used to be. And to cut it short, the man who spoke before I spoke, my brother Negro, told us a lot about him, but I went a little bit personal, and to be able to say so that Nigerians can understand why there was so much change later. And then after all that, to move straight ahead, as I said, he was the managing director or the chairman of the National Petroleum Fund. And we all know how that fund was well managed during the time of Abacha. It brought a lot of development, and that helped to build him up as a man of integrity, because there was no corruption found in him as at that time. And for every Nigerian knows that petroleum fund, there is temptation for the officers to pilfer the money, but he made sure he worked on behalf of Nigerians. Then, the last I remember, he ran for election in 2003 against Obasanjo, and he lost the election. But he got about 8 million votes. And then in 2007, he ran with Yaradua for the presidency, and he lost. And in 2011, he ran again with the CPC, and he lost. But throughout all these elections, his votes never diminished. From 8 million, it came above 8 million. By 2011, it was about nearly 11 million, So it was constant, which means he had a base. He had people who believed in him. And all these votes were cut across the country that time, although majority of the votes were in the north. But at least he had some pockets of votes in the southwest, in the south-south, and even in the southeast as at that time. So by 2013, they started a political realignment now, whereby he said he had given up, that he doesn't want to run again. He ran 3 times, he failed. But now, with his base that he had, the then ADC, headed by Tinubu, and CPC merged together with NNPP, they all merged together to form the APC. Even the AD that time, all the opposition parties, they merged together and formed the the APC. So as they formed the APC, they now pose a potential threat to the government of the day. And we went for elections, and for the first time, February 2015, we went for elections. After that was after Buhari won the primaries with APC, and we went for elections, and he became the first opposition person to defeat a sitting government in the history of Nigeria. That was 2015. And he ran again 2019 for a second term, and he won the elections. And if I must mention, the 2015 election, he won it with over 50 million votes, because people came overwhelmingly out to vote for him, because we all believe in change. The mantra then, the political mantra, was change, 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 change. If you go to the north, to the south, everything was changed. Everybody felt they needed a breath of fresh air from the then perceived corruption of good luck Jonathan's regime. So everybody voted for change, and Buhari became the president of Nigeria from 2015 to 2023. I will leave it there so that I just gave the background and everything. I will leave it there so that Joe Idele-Ero who is the host, can go on. Now, after having given you that background, there are other insights now that we will go to later, but let me leave it at that for now. Thank you.
Oh, wow, 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 wow. Thank you so much. You see, Nigerians out there listening to us today, I told you guys that we have among us here a veteran, an experienced personality of Ambassador Matthew Biki Wifo. Imagine that he has a rare privilege to have had an encounter, couple of encounters with our late president, Mohammadu Buhari. Mohammadu Buhari, what I know about him is that the man is a disciplinarian. The man is a gentleman. The man is an honest person. The man is, if he wasn't a soldier, we would say he is an activist with a tag of anti-corruption because he renounced corruption. Anything that has to do with corruption cannot, do with him. This man here, from his young age, growing up in the state of Katsina, actually his own city was Daura, where he grew up. And I think that part, then we have just 12 states. The later on got split into several segments that brought about this 31 states today in Nigeria. Anyway, Buhari, that we all know, as according to what Ambassador Biki said about him, he schooled locally in the state, and gradually, he moved into the army, the military. So, and then from there he got promotion, got training after training, even went as far as going to London to get some training, and he was moving up because of his exemplary character. Because of that, he was having some kind of rapid promotion, and was being given some responsibilities that he never failed. This responsibility that he was given, even when he was even young, he was able to manage those responsibilities given to him as a soldier, as a military person. And from there on, according to what I know, uh, he was a governor as at that time of the, I think it was the northern region or something. So he was a governor and he was very young as at that time. Even when he became the military head of state, he was still a very young man. So, and I remember I was at home in the year 1983, as a very young boy. We just came back from the club that night, December 31st. I cannot forget that day. So myself and my brother, my colleague who were doing music together in the nightclub, we came home and our brother, who was in the same house with us, kept to wake us up because we were sleeping. Because we didn't come in until very late at night. We were sleeping, and when he came to work, he said, "Listen, hey, guys, wake up, wake up, wake up! There's a coup in Nigeria. Really, there's a coup in Nigeria." We said, "Okay, what's going on?" And everybody went and get glued to the radio sets. We found out that the military people had just overthrown the civilian government that was led by Shehu Shagari at that time. So at the end of when the coup got kind of settled, Buhari was made the head of state. Buhari was the head of state as his deputy, uh, General Tunde Idiagbo, both of them. They were now in charge of the country, having taken over from Shehu Shagari. So this man had 2 years or so, if I can't actually, maybe it's going to be about 2 years or a little more or less, I don't know. But within this short time, there was a lot of sanity. Discipline became a norm in our country. There was a lot of moral decadence and all that stuff. These people here, they came to sanitize the country, bringing in, as my brother said earlier, war against indiscipline. That was a tag that time that people now learn how to be disciplined, how to conduct themselves in the public, in the offices, wherever you may be. So at that time, it was it was so it was so interesting that wherever you are, you will think twice before you behave. You have to be in a queue, even at the bank or anywhere you go. Let's say you want to board the bus before you see people rushing into the bus. No, this time around you have to queue up until you get to your turn before you can be attended. They were the one that brought those discipline into the country. So all of a sudden, again, before you know it, they were overthrown by probably who I would say their friend, who was a member also of the executive council. So that was Babangida, who came over and changed the narrative. So now that discipline that was built within that 2 years or so was wiped away. So, but he came with his own program that he called a structural adjustment program, SAR. So he came with the SARS, and people were not able to just adjust like that. As a matter of fact, I can tell you that during the Babangida period, a lot of people, a lot of people had to travel overseas because they had to travel overseas because they were no longer able to cope with the situation on ground. a lot of people went abroad. They were just, as it is now, they are replicating the same thing again, what they call jackpot. That time it wasn't called jackpot, it was just, oh, we're just living because they were unable to uh, adapt to the situation on ground. And then everything crashed during Babangida, that the Naira that was as solid as the rock during Babangida, sorry, during Buhari, during General Buhari, crashed out. The Naira at that time, during Buhari, it was very solid, such that it was even bigger than the dollars. But as soon as Babangida came in, everything went down, and then the Naira began to soar. So yeah, that's about the discipline that we missed from our late President Buhari. Not just that, when he was overthrown, according to what our brother said, you know how it is. When the military overthrow a government, they will arrest everyone that was in power. Some of them might be unlucky. They can even kill them. That is a coup. It's a military coup. But luckily for us, Buhari was not killed, but he was only jailed, and all that is history. So by the time he was released, he came out. It was about time we're getting transition into a civil rule, a civilian government, in Nigeria. But then uh, there was a lot of interjection along the line. We also had the likes of Abacha and all that, who was also a military junta, so they were just changing the button from one hand to the other until they get to Abdul Salam, who now made the proposal for this civilian government that we are in today. So, and then this same Buhari also still had that burning desire to lead because he believed that he can still bring in all those talents that he has, especially that has to do with discipline and the moral decadence as it was now, or as it is now. The man tried to bring it back. So that's the reason why he was contesting election over and over and over again. To my, if I can remember, this man contested up to about 4 times before he finally got the nod with the help of our present president, who decided to say, okay, well, this man is a popular man in the north, in the northern region. And actually, Buhari's name is synonymous to the north. Anybody that know him, everybody like Buhari in the north. So whenever he contests election, he gets the north overwhelmingly, but and managed to get some, scanty numbers in the west and the south side, and basically the east. So that's what was costing him the presidency until our president, our current president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, decided to say, okay, well, they had to form a coalition. And they collapsed a few political parties that now form one party, the ACN. The ACN, where he also contested, and then he was the leader of his own party. He has his own party. Buhari has his party that was CPC. So the rest is history. He finally got the presidency after the coalition. And I can tell you what I love about him. I've been telling my people, I just spoke to some of my family today. I said, you guys, don't be stereotypical. Don't follow what people say, what you don't know. Because of what you hear on social media or outside, don't believe them. I said, look, during this, when this man became the president, I was in Nigeria for like about 3.5 years. because I was also trying to, get myself back into the country and participate in politics anyway. So before then, during Goodluck Jonathan, I told them, I said, I can just give you two things that I know about this man. I said, one of them, there was during Goodluck Jonathan, it was almost every day thing that there's no fuel. Everybody will go and sleep in the gas station. They go to the gas station and sleep. And people were now buying fuel, outside. They were buying fuel outside. During Goodluck Jonathan, it was a bitter experience. So now they were adulterating the fuel. People were putting fuel in the house. They call it black market because you can't get the fuel to buy in the gas station. So now there were a lot of arson going on because they take fuel and keep in the house and then uncontrollable. So they were caught on fire. People were getting burnt. I know about a family in my daddy's street area. That time they had about 5 members in the family that got burnt because of this fuel scarcity that they were keeping in the house. So thereafter, when Buhari came into power, I can tell you now, you can go and double check and verify this. I was there. So there was no longer fuel scarcity. Even though the amount of the PMS, it got, higher a little bit, but it was just still manageable at that time. I think it was like about 180 or to 200 naira per liter during his time. But guess what? It was affordable. I mean, it was available. I'm sorry. Some people say it wasn't affordable that time, but it was available. That's the bottom line. Right here in the States, even though we get gas here, $3.99, that's $3.99 per liter here. But you go into the gas station, buy your fuel, and leave. There's no queue. You don't have to go queue up. Regardless, the availability is what we're talking about here. That man made all that thing possible, against the battle of what was going on during the Goodluck Jonathan's administration. Then again, talk about the Naira. The Naira was a little bit stable. Even though it was higher than what it was supposed to be, what people perceived it to be, but then it also was manageable. He managed it to I think about 400 naira to $1, but it was never this high. As a matter of fact, before he left, even in his second term, the naira was still not more than about maybe 400, 500 or something. I can't remember, but I know it's not this high. Okay, look at it now. Even this present administration, see what we are getting. The fuel is, you can't buy fuel now in Nigeria. It's about 1,000 or a little more for a liter. And then talk about the naira. I'm just giving 2 instances right here. The naira has risen. There was a time it was about 1,900, 1,700, but lately it has been kind of a little stable, even though it's still staggering for 1,500 and a little fraction. So if you look at this man's time, he did well. People weren't happy. They said there was a lot of corruption during his time. Yes, but he cannot be everywhere. He can't do everything. But I know him as a disciplinarian and somebody who was very courageous. And at the rest of it, people can say whatever they like about him, but I was one of those who promoted, who unwaveringly supported him during his first time and second time. We had a very big followers on the social media. It was myself and one Golden boy in Chicago that formed that group. We had over up to about 25,000 followers. 25,000 followers in that group for Buhari. We call it I am a Buharist. That's what. So people, when things were kind of going rough a little bit, they say, "Oh, you were the one that can pay for him. You guys brought him in." I said, "Yeah, because I know for a fact, I know one thing about him, that the man is a man of integrity. So I'm going to bring back our brother Tony Negro to continue from where I stopped and say more. We are here to kind of celebrate, even though it's morning. But again, this man has participated in all. I mean, he has handled all kind of positions of power in Nigeria, and he was well managed. Honorable Chief Tony Negro, please go ahead and talk to us some more about.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Our big daddy, Ambassador Waifo, spoke extensively about our late ex-president, Mohammadu Buhari. I thank you so much. You also put me in memory lane here, because I remember when they introduced himself and Idiagbon, his deputy then, they brought in war against indiscipline. And as a kid, I was just growing up, a teenager. Everywhere we go to, we were all now used to staying in the queue. And what Ambassador Rifle said is quite true. I witnessed that and some other part of the government. Now, what Nigerians, we are just to follow up this broadcast. There are a lot of things you can learn from it. You have to always try and see what life was then compared to what life is now. You will see that we have a big lesson to learn from it. I remember then when they were overthrown by Balamusi, Babangida, Idiagbon was not in the country when they were overthrown, but he had I'll call it sad news for him, over the radio. But he insisted, listen, fellow Nigerians, please listen attentively here. He insisted, that's Tunde Idiagbon, that he was going to return back to Nigeria. Everyone was surprised that Idiagbon said he was going back to Nigeria. And really, Idiagbon came, he returned. He returned to Nigeria. Why? He has nothing to panic about. No skeleton in his cupboard. This is one of the reasons that brought Mohammadu Buhari back to power, when people had vested so much trust in him. Now, Idiagbon returned to Nigeria. Now, in 2024, not too many years in between, now Edo State now have a governor. Nobody pursued this governor. He went into exile just on his own, without anybody chasing him. And now he's in exile. Where he is, he's talking from a hole like a rabbit, telling Edo people that he has everything. Whoever catch him, he will open book for them. Where are you going to open the book? Is he in exile? Now you see Idiagbon return home. Then you can also see now how a governor went into exile. Nobody pursuing him. Now he left the country, remain unknown. Some said he left through the big path in Cotonou and so many things because he didn't go through the airport. So now Nigerians can see the difference compared to modern day rulers. we are in serious trouble going forward. When you have the wrong people in politics, this is what happens. So I thank God for late Tunde Idiagmo. I think it was from Kwara State. What a responsible man to the core. So those talking from, or whoever is talking from a hole now like a rabbit should come forward now,
Hello,
following the dignity.
hello.
Yeah.
Fine, sir. Can you
We
hear?
are talking about the passing away of President Mohammadu Buhari. Let's please stay on that topic.
No, don't worry, Barry. When you have the microphone, you can analyze your own analysis. Nobody's going to trouble you about that. We, in this platform, we have freedom of expression. Let everyone enjoy freedom of expression here, if you don't mind. Thank you very much. So that is where we are now. And going forward, we should be very, very careful whoever we put forward to rule us. Thank you very much, Honorable Idele-Ero. God bless you.
All right. Well, thank you. The interjection right there was it's okay, and I also appreciate your response to it. Our brother here, Ambassador Wifo, tried to moderate for us to stay on course. And you are not at a point at all. You were trying to make some points with your own analysis. Try to compare what was before and what it is now. That's the state of our nation, Nigeria. However, going back to talking about our president, the who just passed away, President Mohammadu Buhari. Yeah, a lot of people might not admire his ways because he's coming from a military background. Remember this now. So for anybody to be able to withstand the rigors of military background per se, then you have to have that discipline. That's what the man always tried to maintain. We know now that nowadays there are some errors in the military circle. So some people have, now adopted the civil way, like corruption. People are now corrupt in the military. Way before now, we always know the military people to be, a disciplinarian. They don't condone all these indiscipline of corruption and all that. But the civil rule today is kind of different. The civilian has probably, I don't know, I could say that is the civilian that has corrupted the military, or whether the case, I don't know. I'm going to ask my brother, uh, Ambassador Biki Rifle, because we can be here all day talking about the good side of Buhari. I know that for anybody that has a good side, also have some bad side, especially when he now become a civilian president, which is totally different. When he was a military head of state, they were really it was I would say they were dictators. So you have to obey their command. They don't go through assembly, National Assembly or something before they got things done. That is a different kind of system. So, but today he now become the civilian president. guess what? Things are going to change. So he himself was unable to control, to some extent, his cabinet, because during his time, what he know, I think what he's used to, he's not used to all these bureaucratic system, negotiation, and all that stuff, that now occur in the houses, I mean, House of Assembly, House of Rep, whatever, and the Senate. He didn't have to go through all that when he was the head of state. They rule by decree. They were ruling by decree. But this time around, now you have to go through the rule of law, the constitution, and all that. So that's the difference. Ambassador Wifo. So how do you compare the time of our late president when he was a military head of state, or when he had a different position of power during the time he was in the military? How do you not compare that to this time when he became a civilian president? So what went wrong? What's the difference? Can you please explain to us what you know that he did during that time, whether good or bad, and when he became a civilian president? We just want our viewers and our listeners to know about all this that we are talking about today. Those that they don't even know and those that they have already know, we will talk about all of them. So, sir, I want you to tell us what you know about our president, late President Buhari, when he was a military head of state, and when he became a civilian president.
Thank you very much for having me once again. Giving you his background in my first speech, I gave you an idea of his background, where he was coming from, and I remember mentioning that after his detention, he changed. Well, we will not have, we don't have a lot of time to stay forever in this program. So I will just summarize what is the situation right now and what was the situation then. Well, when Buhari came the first time, that was from 1983 December to August 1985, Nigerians considered this rule to be very draconian. It was draconian, and like you said, they ruled by decree. There was austerity measure, things were tightened up and all that. Fine. The dollar was about 3 to 1 then, 3 naira to $1, and so on and so forth. But their human rights was next to zero. There was no respect for human rights nor the rule of law. It was like if the state, where the country was in a state of emergency throughout his rule the first time. And that is why when Babangida overthrew him, there was general happiness among the population. Everybody was glad because they felt as if we were living under an emperor as at that time. Having said that, with the background I gave, Nigerians, we must be frank, with my assessment, reading the newspapers, reading the internet, a lot of internet, and with the little research that I did, Nigerians are very angry with President Mohammadu Buhari. They are very angry. And I think he knew it. I think he was able to sense it. That is why he left a message with the wife, that the wife should ask Nigerians to forgive him. Because in 2014, when Buhari won the primaries of the then APC, everybody in Nigeria, because of his track record of integrity, everybody in Nigeria was looking forward that the country will move to another level, that corruption will stop. I remember then our present president then during campaign telling us that if they come into power, that the fuel will be reduced and that we have electricity within 6 months. Those were the things that were said as at that time, which were not fulfilled up to today. So, what am I saying in effect? Even the tide that brought Buhari in, that was when Boko Haram started. That was when, according to Buba Galadimas, at that time, a meeting was held in Kaduna where foreign mercenaries were imported to Nigeria, to make sure that in case if Goodluck wins the election, then there was going to be war. And that, I think, is what led Goodluck to say that no blood of any Nigerian is worth shedding for the ambition of any politician. But I think now, looking back in retrospect, we see that that I wish he knew as at that time what the future holds. He wouldn't have made that statement, because a lot of blood was shed. And what do I mean by blood? Nigeria had lost a lot of lives in peacetime, even in peacetime, more than it has ever done. What do I mean? Buhari came into power, and like I said, those were accusations in the press by close associates of his that were never refuted by his government. He never came out to say it was not so. They never came out to tell us that there was no meeting in Kaduna where they imported foreign mercenaries from Fulani herdsmen from Mali, Niger, Chad, and up to Senegal. They never refuted it up to today. And it is from there we started having problems, up to the extent of the Chibok girls being kidnapped. All was to remove Jonathan, President Goodluck Jonathan, from office by all means. And they succeeded. And one would have thought that immediately Buhari came to power, that he will meet the hope and aspirations of Nigerians. He started, yes, with the fight against corruption the first time when he came to power. He started the first 6 months. Yes. But after 6 months, the whole thing fizzled out. And I must tell you, remember, when Buhari came to power, a bag of rice was 7,800 as at that time. What is the price of a bag of rice today? What is the price? The price of a bag of rice is approaching 100,000. At a point, it even went over 100,000. Now, you were saying when Goodluck Jonathan was leaving, Naira was about 175. And under Buhari, when Buhari was leaving, it was 500 and hovering about 550, although now it is 1,600 and something. Now, what I'm saying is that life became, under Buhari, it was as if there was no president in charge, because life became very, very tough for Nigerians. Fulani headsmen. Who are the Fulanis? The Fulanis are not even up to 4 million in a population of 200 million. But they are busy, the headsmen that were imported. Nigerians have lived together as a complete unit since independence. I know a lot of Hausa people, Fulani people that live together with their fellow countrymen in peace and unity and in love. But these imported mercenaries came and turned everything upside down. They became the Fulani herdsmen, marauding and carrying out series of killings, farm evasions, and I can call it programs to even wipe out certain tribes from the country, seizing farmlands, raping our women in the farmlands and so on. And yet, when you arrested any of them and take them to the police station, they will be freed. Our policemen were disarmed of their function. A cow became more valuable than a human being under Buhari. This is the truth. I'm telling you the truth now. I said it before about how he had empathy and all that. And I told you that I feel that maybe his detention is what changed him. When he came back, and my own assessment is as if he was out to revenge and punish both perceived enemies and real enemies during his rule. Because I will not tell you lies, that is still the same thing now we are in. And everybody is expecting that after 8 years of organized chaos, that the country will be on a pedestal to an Eldorado. That is not possible, because until the government tackles insecurity, my dear, I'm very sorry. There progress. When there is no insecurity, where will your investors stay? So what I'm saying in effect is this: Buhari's rule that we all were filled with hope, that we all expected that things will change. With the mantra was say Baba, Buhari, say Baba, that things will change. A man of truth, which we put there. This man of truth was surrounded by cabals that did not allow him to walk. Because whatever is fed up to him, I think he didn't even know the extent, as far as I'm concerned, of the Fulanese Moredas, the extent of their destruction in Nigeria. I think it was not even told to him by those. It became a weaponized political instrument for people to rise to power. So under the democracy of Buhari, yes, I can equally say too that he still had the tenets of democracy when he could. Like, for example, in 2020, when we had the election in Edo State, he said, let the better man win. He did not use federal might. He did not send the army into Edo State. He did not send the police into Edo State or any he did not coerce the people. He allowed the people to choose their own choice as at that time. Unlike what we have now. So what I'm saying in effect is this, and this, if we have to tell ourselves the truth, this is the truth we have to tell ourselves, that a man that we trusted so much, a man that we hoped on so much, did not perform according to our expectations. That is the truth. That is the truth. Because fine, when he came, that is why I said, when he came, 17 local governments in Northeast were under Boko Haram occupation. Fine. And within 6 months, he was able to neutralize them and take those territories back. Within 6 months. Then, after 6 months, he fell sick. By the time he came back, these people regrouped and came back. And under Buhari, we had a system whereby the Fulani headsmen and the Boko Haram people are rehabilitated. And we say we are bringing them back to society. They pay them, they train them. But listen, once a thief, always a thief. If you like, clothe a monkey, take it to America, take it to England, it will be a monkey. You understand? So what I'm telling you right now, Nigerians have gone through pain. If we have to tell ourselves the truth, Nigerians have gone through pain. And I think that is why he said we should forgive him. Because like Abacha said, when you find any insurgency anywhere lasting more than 24 to 48 hours, then the government has a hand in it. That is what Abacha said. The government has a hand in it. And we cannot, like the ostrich, put our head inside the mud and say that under Buhari's regime, everything was rosy. No. Nigerians went through pain, and that pain is still there right now. That pain is still there. Fuel that used to be, when Goodluck Jonathan was there, fuel was about 200 naira. Now we are paying for fuel 955 because it dropped from 1,400 and something. It even rose to 1,400. What of the dollar? The dollar official rate as of today was 1,548. In the black market, it is going for 1,659 when you find it to buy, 659. And Goodluck Jonathan left that dollar at 175. You know, and the prices of everything. Imagine Nigeria is the only place where a price will jump from 7,800 to nearly 100,000. That is a rise of over 1,000%. That is the truth. So what I'm saying in effect is this: despite all this, I know sometimes leadership is very difficult. And I know sometimes the spectators know the game of football more than the players. You say, oh, he didn't play it like this, would have played like this, he'll be able to score. The player who is in the field knows the difficulty that is going through that makes him not to be able to score a goal. You see? So I know all that. And because of that, and because we want this country to be in cohesion, we want this country to have the unity we had when we were in regions. Freedom. That time, I remember 1976, I used to drive all the way from Lagos to Sokoto, drive overnight, leave Lagos 6 o'clock in the morning and get to Sokoto about maybe 6 the next evening. And throughout the night, everywhere was safe. But to see today, by 6 o'clock, people are inside their house. Nobody is safe anymore. Nobody even knows what tomorrow will bring in this country. All this started during the time of Buhari. And like I said, it got to a point, a cow became more important than the citizen of Nigeria. That is the truth. We should tell ourselves the truth. But having said all that, the man came, did his best, did what he could do, and is no more. So my condolence goes to his family. My condolence goes to His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. My condolences go to the National House of Assembly, both the House of Representatives and the Senate. And my condolences goes to all Nigerians. We should please sit down, even those elements that are still there, that want to plunge this country into chaos, that don't believe in peace, that believe in tribal hegemony and religious bigotry, all those religious fundamentalists and so on, should realize that everybody buys in the same market. Everybody. Whether you are a Hausa man, Yoruba man, Igbo man, Bini man, Urobo man, we all buy in the same market. You understand? And in the end, Buhari's life just showed us, in the end, all of us will die. What legacy do you leave behind? A legacy of pain? There are a lot of Nigerians, they don't even want to hear the name Buhari. That is the truth. Why there are others who maybe benefited them and they feel that it was okay. That is my take, my dear brother, on the whole issue. Yes, we lost a man that believed in this country. We lost a man that had passion for this country. That is why, like you said, Idele-Ero, he kept running. Yes. But when he finally got the prize that he ran for all this while, I can say that his government was hijacked. It was hijacked. And if you look at it from that angle too, then you'll be able to say, oh, I think as he asked for forgiveness, he should be forgiven. Yes. So these are the two aspects. I talked first about how he's a man of peace. I believed in the country, but his term, 2 terms, there were actions he was supposed to take that would have nipped the thing, this insurgency, it would have nipped it in the bud. but those actions were not taken. And by the way, when God said, let there be light, it seems Nigeria was left out. Nobody is talking about light right now. They promised us before Buhari became head of state that in 6 months they will give us light. We are still, in fact, 3/4 of the country are still battling with light problem. And light is what can plunge this country, raise this country into an industrialized country. Light. Instead, I find it a shameful act that people are concentrating on talking about 2027 when the basic issues of electoral reform, when the basic issues of providing amenities for the poor masses, when the basic issues of relieving this excruciating pain and hunger infested atmosphere that has been visited on Nigerians should be removed. Instead of concentrating on all that and the program, they are distracting President Ahmed Tinubu from the work he wants to do, the hope he says is rising from Nigerians. So please, as we are burying our president today, let every Nigerian meditate. Let them think of what they can do for their country and not what their country can do for them. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Wow. Okay. You see, it is always good for us to come out like this in a roundtable discussion, and you have been able to come up with a lot of things that they are true. I wouldn't doubt them. I would not, because I actually witnessed all this. You have said a lot about him, about Buhari. You know, the reason why people lost hope in him, because we all had all this hope built when he was coming because of what we know about him previously during his time. He was a military president, or I mean, a head of state. So now, with that being said, everybody was like, "Oh, if this man happened to come in a military, as a military president this time around, sorry, as a civilian president, maybe we are going to go back to enjoy those good things." I think that's what Nigeria we were expecting. The expectation was high when we know that he was coming. Why? Because this man is known for his integrity. Otherwise, nobody has hope in anybody here, because everything that is said, like you pointed out about the fact that, oh, when they come in, there's going to be when they come in, there's going to be that. Those are political statements. Those are just a hopeless and empty promises that never come to people. So we all know that. That is why even Nigerians now generally, we have lost hope. That's why you see protests here and there whenever there's any government, any new government, because we know that they are all just coming to look. That's our perception. Even if they are not actually doing it, especially the leaders, want to put them on mute. So even if we are not sure if they are going to do it or not, but we now believe that all those promises are always empty. They are never kept. So it is not just Buhari alone. But the only thing I can point out from your analysis is that we all had hope, high hope on him as somebody who is known for integrity. But unfortunately, again, like I said earlier, that when he was in military head of state, they were ruling by decree. So whatever they say, you got to obey. You got to obey. But this time around, when we are in the civil system, civilian system, or democratic system, they just have to go through a lot of protocols, going through National Assembly for approval. Going, as at that time when he was a military head of state, he didn't have to do any of those things. No. He don't need any assembly to approve anything for him to, before he carry out his, his actions. So that's the thing. But this time we have orders that are not followed. Executive orders are not. We don't have any hope as Nigeria. I'm now speaking as a common Nigerian here. We do not have. We have lost hope in any politician that is coming our way. If they tell us they are going to give us that, believe me, they are going to give us darkness instead. That's what is going on here. Because none of them has been able to prove that they can do what they promised during campaign. That's our problem. That is not Buhari. So even then, Buhari was still able to contain. He was able to contain some of this mess during his time. I would just you just said it now. Look at the progression. Look at the progression into maladministration and all that stuff. Look at the progression of things from even bad to worse, and it's going to keep on going like that. It's going. It will never end. It's not going to stop. Look, you said something about the naira. He inherited naira, let's say about 200 or 300 to 1. I can't remember. I can't just please don't quote my figures anyway, because I'm just here. If we had, let's say, 300 naira during Goodluck Jonathan, which he inherited, and he was able to stop at about 500, guess where we are now? You just said it yourself. So it is not about him. But the only thing is that the man maintained his integrity, his discipline. Unfortunately, he has a lot of all these bourgeoisies, the bourgeoisies that he had, those people who are contagious to money. Everything about them is money. When you give them money, approved money for a project for Nigerians, ministers, whatever they are, guess what they're going to do? They, rather than using that money to execute such projects, they steal the money and put it in their pocket. So, and there's little or nothing for a president to do. That's why I said there's a difference between military, right, decree, and the democratic system, So if he was during that time, all he can do is, okay, well, they go arrest him and put in jail. But he can't do so when he now became a civilian president. He didn't realize that. I can tell you now. He probably didn't realize that. He didn't tell me that, but I know if he has realized that things are going to change, it's not going to be like what he was when he was a military head of state, then he probably would have just said, well, let it be. You know what I'm saying? But then again, for the love he has for the country, he keeps trying and trying and trying. And when he finally got it, he now see that it is not something that he can do alone. Most of the actions are carried out by people who he didn't know, who he cannot trust, and because why? He cannot do it alone. That's what I see about that. But anyhow, I'm going to pass the microphone over to my brother, Honorable Chief Tony Negro, to say a little bit more on the. Let us just expand it a little bit. We're going to have let's say about 10 more minutes for this before we close this topic for today. Honorable Tony Negro, you got like about 3 minutes to speak on this. The time. What people are angry. We know that they are angry that we were kind of disappointed. We were disappointed because what we expected did not happen. We didn't get what we expected of him. So what do you have to say? How can you reconcile both the good time of him and this time that we got disappointed? Even though the wife said he left a message that he should appeal to Nigeria to forgive him. We don't know why. Nobody knows. There's no detail about that. Forgive him for what? Why? So he's not the worst person that has come to power. There are people, even I'm not going to say, even those who are there right now. What can we do about them? Can we hold them accountable? Inability to hold these leaders, these elites, accountable for their action is our problem. That's our problem, nothing more. So they go on looting spree because why? Nobody's going to challenge them. They go, nobody's going to challenge. That's what I see. Honorable Tony Negro. Tony Negro, unmute yourself and speak, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for this great opportunity. I personally have my own point of view, or I see things from my own perspective. We know when Buhari first came into power through or under the military, he did very well because he had a very good deputy at that time, Idiagbon, Tunde Idiagbon. They both worked together and things were really, really good in our country. That very period, I remember they were paying off debts, and they were very transparent, and there was a huge degree of accountability in their dealings. They were paying debts that Nigeria was owing, and things was very, very getting better for the country in discipline in everything. But when he came in as democratic president, like under the civilian rule, I think he really struggled. He really struggled to put things in place because he now discovered that there are many ways, there are many problems that goes with democracy for people to come in and express themselves. People come in and, oh, he cannot take decision on his own. He has to go through the National Assembly. He has to. There are so many things. So he really struggled. It wasn't the same game he played when he was in the military. So those are some of the problems he encountered during his time as president before his passing a couple of days ago. So Nigerians, our country, our people complain too much, because they just believe that if bag of rice is 20,000 today, it should ever remain 20,000. It should not go up. The whole world is encountering this problem now, economic crunch. Even in this country, when I first arrived this country, we used to buy a can of Coke for about 20p. Now it's gone to £1, £1 30 pence, £1 50 pence for a can of Coke. So everything is moving. The world is moving. We have to move along with it. I am not trying to side the government. The government should do things to raise the standard of living in our country. So these are the problems we are encountering. If you see, every time we have a president, we blame the president. When the president goes, the next one that comes make life even worse for the people. We blame that one again, and when he goes, the next one again, things are even more difficult again. They are about to cook another one now. People talking about the coalition, these are all ways to trick you to get your vote. They can't change the country. The country will even go worse in their own time. People should be patient. Let the government of the day give them time to climb. When Alex Ferguson took over as a manager of Manchester United, he stayed for 4 years or 5 years without a trophy. And when he started getting his hands on trophy, he won 30-something trophies. So people should begin to understand. I'm not, if I speak now, people will say, oh yeah, it's in the comfort zone. No, that is not the question, because this country, we have experience.
We have experienced what do you call it? We have experienced problems with our economy here in the UK. We have experienced. There was a time when we had, the Prime Minister here, David Cameron. This was very difficult. Most people that used to eat four times a day, they started to eat 2 times a day, just to enable him. He did recover from it, and he brought the economy back again on track. Because the economy before he came in was under Tony Blair. Tony Blair was very good, and the economy was really good in his time. Things are not the same the way it used to be every day. Instead of them now to be patient now with the government of the day, give them room to plan, to move things forward. You are rushing for a change. And this is the change that Buhari brought to you. You say you don't like the change again. When they were bringing you that change, Jonathan tell you that somebody said he's bringing you a change. You didn't ask whether the change is a good one or a bad one. You just said, oh, the change, you accepted it. And here we are. We have to be patient as a country. I'm not, I live in the comfort zone. I live in England. I live in London. But I can tell you, my mind, all my body is, I spent around, you saw it that I was in Nigeria for about 4 years, 5 years, almost 5 years.
Yes.
Recently, I only returned back to London. So anything you tell me about hope, I know about it because I experienced it already.
I was there too.
People shouldn't just look at us like, oh, these people now London, the other one is in America. No, I'm with you. My mind, I have siblings there. I have families there. Most of them, I have to send money from here to them to survive.
We are the source of
patient. Yeah. Let's be patient with the government of the day. Otherwise, you Nigerians, we are going to blame the next government if we are not careful. Things can go worse. A bag of rice that is 100,000 naira today can still be the same bag of rice can still take you up to 180,000 in the next government if you rush too much about things. Be patient. We have a very good and great country. But most of the things that is the main problem is that we have to be able to cut down on corruption. If that can cut, things can improve better.
Well,
things can go better. This is my take about this very
well, thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I appreciate you, and I appreciate both of you that has stayed with me so far. Because we're about to round up this show now, we cannot continue to stay on it according to our brother because we have a lot to talk about, especially that the death of our late president has triggered a lot of anger among Nigerians. Why? Because they feel that it is whoever is piloting the affairs that is the cause of the trouble. No, I don't think so. This thing has to do with all of us. Why? We are not a productive nation. We should have been, but because of the corrupt elites, that's our problem. The corruption right there. Until we are able to minimize it. I know we cannot eliminate it, but if until we're able to minimize corruption in our nation, forget it. It's just going to keep on climbing like that. Keep on climbing and climbing and climbing. And we have nothing to do about it. The only thing that can actually bring about a change in that country is a drastic revolution. I'm not calling for anything bloody, but there are different ways that we can bring about revolution. Our elites right now, National Assembly, ministers, when you see the scrambling, campaigning, I'm very much ashamed that Nigerians are still believing politicians when they make promises that are empty. Yes, that's what it is. We know that they are going to come up with all kind of bogus promises. to the people, and the people buy into it. Sometimes they don't buy into it, but they have no choice. They're going to have to elect somebody at the end of the day. But guess what? The problem, the more these people here, they are so nepotic. They are so, in fact, I don't even know how to describe the present elite. They do not want to give chance to other people. No chances at all. How? A nation where they don't have a standard rule, a standard system of nomination in different political parties. They don't have nothing standard. They talk about what they call zoning. Zoning. What is zoning, by the way? When you zone it, he said something a while ago that when you take a monkey to America or to England, whatever it is, they're still going to be monkeys anyway. These people here, they have grabbed the power and they do not want to let go. What do they have? They have the money, and the rest of us don't have that much money. The money that they have is our money, and yet that's what they're using to fight against us. They use it to oppress us. So it's not going to stop. The only thing I think about that will bring change in that country is a drastic revolution. These promises here and there is never going to cut it. It's never going to cut it. Because those who they put in there are not the right people. They are putting square peg in round holes right now. That's what it is. Because it is who you know. Somebody told me that here. They said it is not about what you know, but who you know. That's what's killing us right now. We do not have anybody who is actually competent to lead us. Even if we have, there will be some who will sabotage his effort. I don't know, maybe President Tinubu, the president right now, may have some good intention, but he cannot do it alone. There are other people who are going to sabotage his effort. No doubt about it. It's not just, I'm not just making it up. So I'm not, we're going to have to end it up here, and then probably next time we can talk more about the leadership and the economy of our nation. We have said it. We have said, all of us have talked about the way it is. Actually, you do not expect that everything is going to continue to be rosy. No, sometimes the road will be rough, the terrain will be rough, but the ability for us to take control of it is what matters. Ambassador Waifu, please, sir, give us your closing remarks for today's broadcast, so that we can close there tomorrow. Remember this now, I'm going to tell the people, tomorrow we are coming back again on this same platform, this same station, this same time. We have another broadcast coming up tomorrow. We are inviting all of you, be part of the program. Don't shy away. We are all Nigerians. We are not, those of us who are here talking, giving our time, our precious time, we are resources. We are not getting any reward from anywhere, any angle. We are only just here to see if our broadcast can bring about some impact on the part of the elites that are leading us today. Ambassador Waifu, please. Unmute yourself, sir, and speak. Ambassador Waifu. I understand. Go ahead, sir. I understand.
Hello, I didn't. Okay, I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you very well.
Okay.
I didn't hear you very well because.
Okay. I'm hearing the noise. Don't worry about it. What I'm saying, sir, is we have spent quite some time here, and there's no amount of time we put into this matter that will be enough for us to get to a reasonable conclusion. But the thing is, we have said enough, and our people listened, and if they hear us, that's fine. We are going to continue to do our best. That's what I said. We put in our time here without any reward from any angle. That's what I said. But I just wanted to go ahead and give us your closing remarks so that we can end the book. It won't be too long. Yeah.
All right. Let me do that. First of all, I want to thank my brother, Honorable Negro, for his incisive analysis of what is happening in Nigeria. I quite concur with him. And I want to thank you, Idele-Ero, as the chief host. But whatever opinions I have about this program now, when we are doing our own private analysis, we will talk about it. But the truth is that our a colossus that bestride the political firmament of Nigeria is gone home. And whether he lived well, he governed well, he didn't govern well, history will be able to judge him. So I want to thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be part of this program. And like you said, it's a continuous program where we will keep analyzing things and even bringing there'll be new formats with which the show will be done. So I'm saying thank you very much. And before I go, briefly, I want to say that my deep, heartfelt condolences go to the Nigerian people, the Buhari family, the wife, the former First Lady, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the National Assembly, and all the Nigerians in the diaspora, whether we like it or not. He was the president of Nigeria for 10 years out of 60 years of our independence. That is about 65 years now, 10 years. Only himself and Obasanjo have that honor. So he was quite apart from what I know in the north, because I stayed in the north. Apart from Sadwana of Sokoto in the north those days, no other person was able to mobilize the masses like Buhari did in the north. No other person, no politician has been able to mobilize like that, which means he stood for something and he was respected for something. And that something was integrity. But like I said, he was surrounded by cabals. So thank you all very much for listening to all of us this evening. And thank you once again, brother, comrade, Idele-Ero. Thank you.
God bless you. Honorable Tony Nigo, round up, sir. Let's go.
Yeah, thank you very much, uh, Ambassador Wifo. Can say very clearly that your analysis tonight, I am really overwhelmed with your analysis. And I thank you very much. I learned something from you tonight, and I will keep that for the rest of my life. So we want to say now to Eru himself, the host, that the good job you are doing for Edo and Nigeria at large. We appreciate you. We thank you. Continue to encourage you so that people begin to subscribe to this channel. There are lots of things they can enjoy from their subscription, and hopefully we'll continue to improve on our services to them. Finally, I want to my deepest condolence to Aisha, Madam Aisha, the children of ex-President Mohammadu Buhari, GCFR. I want to say a very big and deep condolence to you all for what happened. But we Nigerians will continue to pray for you, for God to give you the strength to go through this very difficult time. And then our late president of Nigeria, Mohammadu Buhari, GCFR, I want to say to you a very goodbye, and may Allah continue to put you at rest and peace. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all of your contribution, my brother Ambassador Biki, Matthew Waifo, and Chief Honorable Tony Negro. I thank both of you today. The rest of our crew members didn't show up for reasons beyond their control. They would have been here, but hopefully tomorrow we will all come back here and meet to discuss another important issue that is coming your way. For the audience, for members of the audience, there's nothing, no big deal. If you subscribe to this station, all you're going to gain is more than what you expect. Anyway, so you will gain the truth. This is a channel that gives the truth about the situation of our country, of our state, of our country. And then, with that being said, I'm going to expect that you all have a change of mind to always, subscribe and join us whenever we are on air, because we're always live here on YouTube, Facebook, and other social media. And even if you didn't join us live, you also have the opportunity to go back and revisit our broadcast so that you will actually be able to digest everything that was said. I want to wish our former First Lady Aisha Buhari and the family entirely a very, very deep condolence for the loss of their dear one, our own president, Muhammadu Buhari. And I also want to condole with our present leader, present president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the National Assembly, and the entire people of Nigeria, both home and in the diaspora. We have lost a great son who has wholeheartedly served that nation in different capacities. And at the end of the day, we cannot hold him back. We can't hold him back. If the Lord said it is time for him to go, like he's going to also pronounce ours when our time comes, there's nothing we can do about it. So it is painful loss, we know, but his legacies that he left behind will be the bedrock of our remembrance to our president, Muhammadu Buhari. God bless all of you for joining us today, for listening to our broadcast. And we will see you again tomorrow, same time, 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock is the time for the broadcast. And we expect that you do better by joining us, giving us your opinion through the comment section, and giving us a call here. We have a number for you to call, but we have not been seeing much about that. But we hope that everything go well with you and your family until we see you back tomorrow. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.